Hello, and welcome, my friends, to the next video in the Create Better Content series where I show you how to tap into your creativity so that you can stay consistent with your marketing and reach more customers. My name is Penny, and I'm going to be your guide through this content development process. I want to teach you about engaging content, remarkable content, amazing content, all of these things together to help you reach more qualified customers. And if you want to learn more about creativity and how this can help you develop your content marketing plans, I would love to see you hit that button below and subscribe to this channel. And below in the links, there's going to be a description box down below, and you're going to see some links. One of the links that you're going to see is for the Content Calendar Blueprint. This is an email-based training program. It's a guide that's going to help you not just develop your content calendar, but actually help you work through the steps to develop the content ideas and a strategy to implement it and use it. Another link that you're going to see is that you can join us in the Marketing Strategy Collective. This is my group program that we do, that we get together on Patreon, and every month we get together on a Zoom call. It's a supportive group online space that allows you to get some help, much needed help, I'm sure, with your marketing. Okay, so you see the links below, and you know what to do to learn more. Okay, so today, let's jump right into this today, because I'm going to still talk about stories, but I want to focus in on one of the best features about storytelling in our content. It's about how to sell without sounding all pushy and salesy. And before you say, oh, but I don't have a good story, or I'm not a good writer, take a deep breath on this one, because I've got you. This is not about writing the next, great American novel. It's about learning how to use real moments from your business or your life and turning them into a story that's going to connect with your community. It's going to allow them to see themselves in the services and the products that you're offering. So have a seat and take some notes, because we're going to get really deep into how you can use storytelling to help you sell more and to make more, and to turn just followers into converted customers. So if you've ever sat down and thought about, okay, I've got to write a sales post, and I just don't want to sound pushy, which is too far over the line. How do I know if this is getting through to people? Am I sharing the information that's going to make people click on my offer? All of those things go into our mind when we're writing up our sales stuff. And I get it, because hello, me too. I've been there too. So whether you're trying to sell your services, whether you've got a digital product, whether it's just promoting a workshop or someone to click on this link to get your product, you have probably at one point or another felt this uncomfortable feeling between wanting to sell and wanting to grow your revenue, but then you want to make sure that you don't come off sounding like some used car dealer on Facebook Marketplace, right? So if we think about it from this place, I want you to know that people don't buy because of a social media post. People aren't buying because of an email that they wrote. People buy because of emotion. People buy because of a connection, because the message that they got from you, whether it's in an email, whether it's in a social media post, they get this because they feel seen. They feel like you understand them, like you get what they're going through. And when you can tell a good story like that, that is that place that you're in that's going to tell them, it's going to tell your community, I hear you, I see you, I understand you. Because stories are more than just a piece of content. Stories allow us to take down the barriers, take down the walls that your community builds up, and oh no, they're going to try to sell me, but wait a minute, there's a story. I want to learn more. Because when they hear the story coming and when they hear you telling a story, there's a part in our brain that kind of goes past the resistance of being sold, and it goes straight into this part of our brain that's just craving connection, that wants to know more, Ooh, tell me more, and they lean into it because they want to know more. They want to know more about the person in the story. They want to know what happened in the story. They want to know the resolution in the story. So when you tell a story that actually reflects like a challenge or something that they're struggling with, and you can show the transformation that they're wanting, the transformation that they can imagine for themselves, it helps them imagine what's possible. And when they can imagine what's possible, that is what leads into an organic, natural version of, yes, I want that solution. Yes, I want that transformation. It turns into, no convincing or arm twisting or salesy, you can buy this if you act now, and last offer and all that kind of stuff. It just becomes a connection. And it just becomes this opportunity for somebody on the other end of their phone or the other end of their laptop or however they're receiving your messages to connect with your story and see themselves in it. So it makes sense for them that this service or this product is going to get to them. It's going to get them that transformation and get them that solution that they're looking for. So how do we do this? How do we create sales messages using storytelling? So we use the basic sales framework, which I've shared with you before, but I want to talk to you again, and I want to share this. It's the 3S framework, which is struggle, shift, and solution. Those 3 S's. But what I want to do is I want to break this down and how these 3 pieces combine together to create storytelling sales messages. So let's break this thing down. So if we think about it, let's initially start with the first S, which is struggle. This is where that person's struggling. This is their pain point. This is what the story is about. It's like saying, I worked with this client who was just completely overwhelmed, burned out, trying to do all the things all the times, and she's posting daily, following all these tips on Instagram, following all of these steps on YouTube, and she's still not seeing any results. So this is me telling you the struggle. This is me painting a picture of somebody that you can see yourselves in, because maybe you too have been struggling with your content. You've been doing all the things. You're daily posting. You're following all these tips. You're watching all of these training videos, and you're not seeing results. So the next step we go into is the second S, which is shift. The shift is the tension, the struggle, the pain point that just hits a breaking point. Because you're facing this challenge, there was an obstacle in the way, and then a shift happens. And the shift is the after moment. It's the thing that changed. So if we keep on with our story that I was sharing with you initially, so let's talk about this particular client who was struggling with her content. And so the shift happens because as she's moving through this process, she's second guessing herself. She spends hours on Canva. She still feels like nothing she's doing is landing. And, she starts getting into her head. She starts having these mindset problems that she just wasn't cut out for this. But then the shift happens because she moves past the doubt. You want to talk about what happened to pull her out of this place. Maybe she signed up for a service. Maybe she had coaching with you. She had coaching with you who showed her a better way to do this, an easier way, how to use a productivity program so that she's not so overwhelmed, how to understand how to really build out her content calendar so it's used as a system instead of just a place for her to write, this is the day that I'm going to be posting on Instagram. There's a shift. And when the shift happens, it becomes this moment of understanding that things have changed. And when you can share that in the story, this is what's going to make your community feel their need for the solution. They're going to be thinking to themselves, that's me. I need a shift. I need that coaching service. I need that product because that's how I see myself. And if this is the solution that I've been looking for, then this is what's going to help me move through my pain, through my struggle, and to get to the place where the third S, which is our solution. So the result that they get from working with you or buying your product or following your advice. So let's continue with our story here. So if we think about this from the third place of the third step in the framework of the solution, let's say, okay, so she went through the shift. She realized what she needed was some help. She needed a better productivity system. She needed somebody to come in with another pair of eyes and to basically take a look at everything that she was doing and to help her work through a better way, a better workflow, a better process. And then the solution became, we built a content calendar system based on who her business is and how she shares her content. So she started showing up consistently, and she started showing up consistently in a more genuine way, because we were able to take a look at, instead of her posting for the pure sake of just saying that she's posting and being consistent, she actually was intentional, because we had a plan in place. We had the content calendar, we had the productivity process, we had the workflow. So because of that, her engagement goes up, or more importantly, her confidence goes up, because she's starting to feel like, this is not in control of me, I'm in control of it. And when I become more in control of my content, it allows my content to be more intentional. It allows my content to actually share in a way that's going to get people to engage with me as well as take action. So we can always say that, so she did this, and then a month later, she booked her first new client by sharing a storytelling post. This is the part that inspires action. When we tie it all together and we let your community, who is now emotionally connected to this story, the opportunity for them to see a path forward, for them to see the solution, for them to see themselves in this story, it allows them to connect with your message in a way that you're not pushing them to buy, that you're inviting them to envision themselves in the transformation. So how would we use this type of the S3 framework? How do we use this with our marketing? Well, we can always use this in social media. We can think about how we can start, and we can share a client's before story and walk them through the after. Very similar to this example that I just shared with you about this client that I helped with the content calendar. We can use it in sales messages. We can open with a story, the very beginning of the message, that could reflect the exact problem that your product or service offers. You can even do this in a discovery call. Imagine being on a discovery call with somebody who's, got their interest in the work that you're doing and wants to learn more. So instead of just listing out your services, I've got this coaching, you can buy this, you can do this, we can do this. Why don't you share a story of somebody who benefited from working with you? Because that's a way that you can include this kind of storytelling, sales messaging, when you are trying to close a client. And let me also say, as you're working through this process, don't worry about being perfect. As a matter of fact, the more you are you in this, the more you are authentic, the more you are who you really are and how you talk, and not trying to force, salesy keywords in there, the better it is. Because the goal of this, the goal of using storytelling in our sales messages, is not to manipulate people. It's not to push them into clicking here. The goal is to move people to feel something. It's to move them to think that they can see themselves in your story. It's to get them to stop scrolling. It's to get them to stop and to read your post. And then when they can start reading it and they can connect with it, they imagine themselves in it. And they can not just imagine themselves in that scenario that you're using in your story, but they can imagine themselves in what could happen if they buy. Not just your product or service, but buy into the belief that something can actually change for them. Something can transform for them, whether it's their business or their life or whatever it is that your product or service is helping them with the solution. So now I want you to think about this. It's a simple but powerful framework that you can use. And when you think about the 3 steps, which is the struggle, the shift, and the solution, when you use this framework, you can start selling through your stories. And if you want to know some more tips to help you market more like you and not like some spam bot, I would love to see you hit that subscribe button, because I'm dropping videos like this every single week to help you get more creative, get more consistent, and grow your business with content that truly connects to your business and your customers. So thank you so much for joining me today on this creative journey. If you've enjoyed this content about content development, I hope you'll hit that share button and let's keep this conversation going. And if you're ready to go deeper into storytelling and your marketing strategy, I would love to see you join us in the Marketing Strategy Collective on Patreon. This is our group program where we go beyond just the how-tos and the templates, but I'm actually showing you how to implement creative strategies that work for you and your business. You're going to get access into resources, behind the scenes content. We do a live session every single month. We get together on a live Zoom call where myself and the other members get together and we discuss our challenges and how we can help each other. It's a community of business owners who are just basically done with let's do this like everybody else. And just let me say, you don't need to be a professional storyteller to use stories in your sales. You just need to figure out how to come up with a story that connects and is relevant to your customer. And it starts with your story. So stop working in a solo bubble and learn how to work in a collaborative space at the Marketing Strategy Collective. Let us help you with your marketing strategy and marketing efforts and all of these things, storytelling, sales pages, social media, all of these things together can help you create a better, stronger business. So you see the links below and you know what to do to learn more, to get the marketing help that you need and see real growth in your business. You are magnificent, my friend, and let me be the first to say, I'm proud of you. Until next time.